Star Wars lore can get very trippy. After all, it's a series where a farm boy kissed his sister on the mouth and then beat up his war veteran disabled father. And one of the lore bits that's been tripping up several of my commenters is whether or not Palpatine had a hand in Anakin Skywalker's creation. Now, this misconception mostly comes from this comic panel right behind me. Some people have taken that to be concrete evidence that Palpatine did in fact create Anakin Skywalker. Now, in order to explain why this is incorrect, we're going to do a little thought experiment. Looking at this panel by itself, what do you see? Now, don't worry, it's not a trick question, there's no wrong answers. Now, look at this picture and tell me what do you think it means. Now, if you look at both pictures literally, you will probably get the following two answers: that Palpatine created Anakin, and Vader is definitely a clone of Luke Skywalker. Or that Luke would become Vader, or something to that effect. But we know that that scene is not supposed to be taken literally because it is a metaphorical force vision. The same thing applies here. It's not a literal representation of events. I'm gonna oversimplify things and say during that comic run, Vader goes through a dark side portal, a portal that Vader intended to use to resurrect Padme. However, what he's instead greeted with is an amalgamation of all of his fears and failures, both past and present, with a couple of future ones thrown in for good measure. Nothing that Vader sees in this portal is an accurate description of past or present events, but rather is just the dark side toying with his subconscious. Now, with the context that one of the things that Vader sees during this time is that comic panel, you would then come to the reasonable understanding that that is not an accurate portrayal of Anakin's creation, because we already know how Anakin Skywalker was created. So if you're Anakin Skywalker and you're inside of a portal, trying to undo one of your greatest mistakes, and are constantly being bombarded with the idea that you have failed at everything in your life, then it would stand to reason that you would begin to even doubt that you were ever in fact the chosen one, and that through somebody's molding and manipulation, your destiny was never truly yours to control. Again, much like one of the members of the story group said, you have to look at this thing in context. Even the author himself has said that you cannot look at that panel literally. Now in Legends, the story is a bit different, but TLDR, they didn't create Anakin in that either. But I'm not well informed enough in Legends continuity to really tackle that one, so I'll leave that up to somebody who's a little bit more knowledgeable. But as always, that's just my opinion. As always, I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Palpatine created Anakin Skywalker, and who's your favorite Sith Lord? Leave it in the comments, let me know.